Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel where we prioritize mindfulness over perfection. My name is Jen, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about pranayama, and then we'll move into some practice. So pranayama is often described as breath control or breath work, and while neither of those things are untrue, they're both technically correct. It's also a little bit more than that. It's a little bit deeper, a little bit more subtle. So let's talk about the subtleties. So prana is a life force energy known also as chi or ki in other traditions, but in yoga we call it prana. So it's more subtle than the breath. It's more subtle than the beating heart. It's more subtle than electrons firing within us. It's that subtle life force energy that creates life. And sometimes we can feel prana moving and shifting in our body when we do things like breath work practices or yoga asana, yoga poses. So that is prana. Now, yama can be translated to mean control or restraint. So in that way, you could think of prana as control, or pranayama, as control of prana or control of life force energy. If we break up pranayama a little bit differently, ayama, ayama, translates to mean expansion. So you could also think of pranayama as expansion of prana or life force energy. So pranayama is really about moving that subtle life force energy within us, whether we're expanding it or controlling it. And again, breath isn't the only way that we can do this. We can do this through our yoga poses. We can do this through meditation, visualizations. There's lots of other ways. The whole yoga practice is really about controlling that prana or expanding it. But typically, pranayama is practiced through breathing, through working with our breath. Pranayama, because there's that control aspect, often, but not always, involves a kumbhaka, or retention or holding of the breath. So we'll explore a little bit of that today, but first I just want to stress the idea that we want to make sure that we're never straining the breath. So if we're either straining to hold the breath or straining to breathe in deeper or straining to exhale more fully, that's really not the space that we want to be in. We want to have this sense of having control over the breath and how it's moving, but not to the point where we're straining, or if we have side effects, there are some things that can sometimes come up, like a dizziness or lightheadedness, things like that you want to watch for. And if you experience that, that's a good indicator to stop what you're doing and just let your breath flow, let it go back to its natural state. And once you feel ready, then you can jump back into your pranayama or breathwork practice if you'd like to do that. Otherwise, you could also just be done with it at that point. So with that said, let's go ahead and begin. And we're going to begin by just setting up for breathing and becoming aware of our breath. So the way we really want to set ourselves up for breathing is to find a position where we can be tall and upright through the spine. So we're neither rounding forward, which compresses the lungs because the rib cage is being compressed, so we can't take our full breaths, because again, the lungs can't expand when they're being compressed. We also don't want to be in a position where we're arching the back, because that's going to get tiring. And really, for optimal breathing, we want to be in a more neutral position with the shoulders over the hips. If you're able, you could even think about bringing the ears over the shoulders and thinking about having the pelvis in a neutral position, so we're neither leaning forward or rolling back. and the lower ribs in a comfortable position that allows for full expansion through the rib cage. So again, not arching the back or rounding the back. Okay, so take your time to get comfortable in your seated position. And if you're having trouble finding comfort today, sitting in a chair or bringing something under your hips, like sitting on a yoga block or a folded up blanket, may help to support your posture. So again, you can explore that. Once you've found your comfortable seated position, and feel free to pause the video if you need a little more time, we're going to let the eyes close if that feels safe. And the reason behind that is we're eliminating distractions from the external world so we can really focus and tune in to what's happening within us. If for any reason it doesn't feel safe or comfortable to close the eyes, I would invite you to keep them open, but rather than looking around or intently staring at an object, think about bringing your gaze to something in front of you and just let the focus soften. Let the muscles around the eyes soften. So we just have this steady, soft gaze. Now, from wherever you are, we'll take a moment just to observe our posture and our positioning. You might even notice if there's more weight on one hip or the other, one sitting bone or the other. And just thinking about balancing that out so you find your grounded center. Exploring lifting the head without letting the lower ribs expand or push outward, but just getting that sense that almost you're growing taller. Then looking to release where you can. Noticing if there are any spaces in your body where you're clenching or tensing or holding. And starting to come out of that. Finding a sense of softness within your tall, upright posture. So the glutes are soft, the thighs and the legs relaxed, arms heavy, allowing the shoulders to move away from the ears, and all of the muscles of the face smoothing out from the forehead to the space around the eyes and the cheeks, to the mouth and the jaw. And we'll begin to just start to observe the natural flow of breath without changing it or trying to regulate it in any way. Just noticing how the breath naturally moves as you breathe in and out. Beginning to notice where you feel your breath the most in your body. Noticing how much air moves in and how much air moves out. Noticing the breath's rhythm, shape, and texture. And then beginning to notice what your breath may be doing for you. How it feels to be in your body breathing on a deeper level, and what your breath may be indicating about how you're doing, how you're feeling. One of the benefits of our pranayama practice is that it helps us to check in. It helps us and gives us opportunity to self-regulate, and it helps to build resilience. Just starting to notice that natural flow of breath and what it's indicating or doing for you right now. We're going to start bringing awareness to the abdomen. And if it's helpful, you could begin to rest a hand there just to start to witness what happens to the abdomen as you breathe. On the inhale, think about allowing the belly to move outward, filling up the hand. And on the exhale, feel it drawing back in to you. Breathing in, the belly expands. And breathing out, it softens back down and in. We'll take about 3 more breaths, just like that. And you may observe, as you're drawing awareness to the breath, it may already begin to naturally deepen. And if that happens, I invite you to follow that inclination and allow the breath to naturally expand by inviting in just a little bit more air and releasing out a little more air. If you have a hand on the abdomen, you may choose to keep it there or rest it back down as we tune in to these big full breaths coming in and full complete breaths moving out. Deep breaths in and complete breaths out. And we'll move into a bit of a rhythmic breath. So thinking about creating an equal in-breath and an equal out-breath. So the in and out breath are about the same length and depth. So just starting by noticing how much air is coming and how much air is going. Now again, you can follow your own breath, your own pace, or you can follow my count. Let's take 1 more breath in and 1 more breath out. Next inhale, we'll inhale for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Now you can stay with that, or you can explore expanding. Next time you breathe in, breathing in for 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can stick with that, or if you'd like, you can follow me in exploring expanding the exhale. So the exhale gets a little bit longer than the inhale. This helps us to tap into our parasympathetic nervous system, or the arm of the nervous system that helps with rest, digest, and healing. So it's just moving into a longer exhaled breath. If it feels right, let's explore it together. So as you're ready, we'll take a breath in, breathing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One deep breath in and full breath all the way out. Now we're going to begin to explore a little retention of breath called Kumbhaka in Sanskrit. So retention of breath or holding at the breath. And there's a couple of ways that we can do that. A good way to start the approach is to inhale at the top of, or to hold or retain at the top of the inhale, or exploring holding at the bottom of the exhale. So we'll do a little bit of both, starting with holding at the top of the inhale. So by that, I mean we take a breath in, and then we hold for a time, and then we exhale it out. Okay, so we'll start with a 4 count in, a 4 count hold, and a 4 count out. You can always modify to meet yourself where you're at, and please make sure you're not straining. So adjust your seated position if you need. As you're ready, we'll breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. Let's try moving to a 5 count. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a breath, take a rest. Now we're going to switch that up. So we'll try holding at the bottom or retaining at the bottom of the exhale. So quick note here that sometimes this can induce anxiety or stress. Sometimes it doesn't feel good for everyone. So if you notice that your heart rate starts to accelerate, if you notice that you start to feel stress or tension in your body or your mind, you may choose to skip this one for today. So let's begin. We'll breathe in for 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4. Let's try expanding to 5, just as an exploration. So breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's let that go. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Now we'll try both, putting those two together, so holding both at the top of the inhale and bottom of the exhale. This is sometimes called square breathing because if you think of it in a shape, it kind of makes a square. If we breathe in for a count, hold for a count, breathe out for a count, and then hold for another count. So again, we're going to go with equal, but there's lots of ways to play with this and explore, but this is a great way to start. We'll start with a 4 count, just like we've been doing, and then we'll try moving up to a 5 count, but again, just make sure you're not straining. So as you're ready, let's begin. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, in 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4. Let's try moving to 5. In for 2, 3, 4, 5, hold for 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, hold 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's return to the natural breath, and once again, take a moment to check in and notice how you feel after working with the breath. And you may even notice or have observed that you may have preferences in where you hold the breath or how your body breathes. So you may take the next bit of time this day or even the next couple of days to explore that and notice if your preferences shift or if they stay consistent, because sometimes it can differ from day to day depending on how we're doing and what's going on in our day and our stress levels and all of those things. I hope that was helpful, but if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer them. With that, we'll close by bringing our palms together. Let's take one more big breath in, bringing in the benefits of our practice, and full breath out, releasing what doesn't serve us. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you here soon. Take good care of yourself and those around you.